So if I make a commitment to a client, this is how I'm going to be depositing those deposits in my customer piggy bank so that I have those stored for later. And it's about building that trust, building that relationship. So when I'm guiding the client later during this process, they trust and they understand, and they're going to call me because they know and trust and like me. Hey, to all my insurance people out there surviving and hopefully thriving in this hard market. Bobby Fernandez here from Agency Performance Partners. And today I want to talk to you about our third session in our Hard Market Heroes program, which is building confidence and working with our carriers, which we know can be really difficult right now. So we want to really provide you some strategies during this session. If you've been following along with our sessions, you have probably already completed the first session, which was really fantastic on how our leaders can support our team through this hard market. The second session was all about time management. If you didn't get an opportunity to sit in on that session and experience it live, please make sure that you sign up and get the recordings, because our hard market time management right now is going to be super important to the success of how we do business and our customer experience. And that's what it's really, really all about. So make sure that if you didn't have an opportunity to attend those sessions live, that you go back and listen to those sessions by recording. I think you'll really get a lot out of them. What is coming now and super exciting is that we want to talk about building confidence. I don't feel like we necessarily get enough training about how to build confidence, because confidence really comes over time, and it's like working out. The first time we go back to the gym, we don't walk right in and bench press, 250 pounds off the bat. We have to work up to that. And so it takes a lot of practice to really boost our confidence. And it's going to be those little wins over time that's going to help us create that confidence. So we have to believe in what we're doing, and we have to understand what we're doing, and we have to be able to ask questions and get support from other people. And so confidence really, really matters, because we have less fear and anxiety in this market that we're in. It really helps us to boost our motivation, and we're going to have a stronger sense of self. Everybody wants to be a hero, right? We all want to be somebody's hero. And now is our time as licensed insurance professionals to be the hero of our clients. This is what we've worked for. This is why we got our license and why we continue to get our education each year, to be able to help our customers. And most insurance people that I talk to, they say their biggest driver is, and why they love their job, is because they love to help people. And so we have to remember that during this hard market, that we are there to help. And this is our time to really shine and be that professional that we've worked so hard to be, and that we want our clients to know that we are for them. So boosting confidence is going to be so important. We're going to give you a lot of tools on how to build confidence, about how to accept and be open about feedback. We'll give you some tips on maybe how to take some risks in some places where, maybe you wouldn't necessarily, but you might surprise yourself at some of the things that when you really stretch yourself beyond what you think your limits are. And we'll talk really about embracing change, because this is really an adventure. We're going to be learning a lot of new things in this market. This is the hardest market we've had in 75 years. And so none of us in this industry have experienced a market that's been quite like this one. And we're really going to build strong confidence during this market. And so it's going to be super, super important that we don't overthink, having conversations, that we really think about the long term. We can't think about providing solutions in the moment. We have to work towards the long-term goal. And we're going to be in this market for some time. And so we need to be able to educate and prepare our client for that. And so having confidence is going to be super important. We really want you to walk away from this session believing in yourself and your abilities. We want to practice not jumping to the worst case scenario, and that our client just wants us to be there for them during this time, and that we can be the best agent that we can possibly be. And guess what? We're going to win a lot of business that way. The fact of the matter really is, and we're going to talk a lot about how our customer, we are their path of least resistance at this point. They don't want to have to call other agents. They don't want to have to shop their insurance. How many of you out in insurance land, insurance podcast land right now have the drive to just pick up the phone and go shop your insurance package? Probably not most of us. We really want the person who knows us that we've chosen to buy from just to help guide us through this experience. And we really, really do need to become their hero. We are their trusted advisor. It's our job to really educate them and build their trust and their confidence in working with us. And that's really going to take us far during this market. The other fact is that we aren't paying for our insurance policy. Every time a client calls and asks why their policy went up, we can't just straight jump in and think, oh, I've got to solve this problem. Let me give you another quote. We want to make sure that we are explaining to the client, educating the client, and then allowing them to make that decision. You'd be surprised a lot of times, all they want is the education. And when they understand and they know what to expect, they feel a lot better about that decision. Now, no one's ever going to be super happy to pay a ton more money, and we understand that. But they also need to understand that maybe it is the best option for them at that time. And so it's our responsibility to make sure that they understand why that is and the risks that they could be taking by asking you to remarket them. And so it's going to be super important that we have confidence and we have a really good understanding when we're educating our client, because it helps them to have confidence in what we're giving them and build confidence in us as well. We're also going to talk about when a client calls and they have an inbound rate increase call where we're not being proactive. So we have to remember it's just a question. It's not a threat. It's really our opportunity to review their account with them, to provide any updates, maybe giving them some discounts where maybe they didn't have discounts before. Maybe we need to look at some additional coverages or some credits that might be available to them. It's our opportunity to build that relationship and build that confidence. Our client is really a blessing for us to work with. I know a lot of times, I'll go into an agency and their phone will be ringing and they pick up the phone and they're not happy to receive the phone call. But we need to remember that this is our opportunity to help someone today. Why did you get into this industry? Maybe there's a lot of different reasons why, but most of us enjoy helping other people. And so when that phone rings, we can't be like, oh, this client again. Or the minute we hang up the phone, cursing the client out because, they're asking us to do work for them. We need to understand that that's our opportunity. That's what we're here for, is to service our clients, to create those wow customer service moments and really help someone and guide someone through their insurance products. And so we need to understand that it's really a blessing when our client calls us, because it gives us an opportunity to really educate them, improve their day, find the solutions that they're looking for, and earn other opportunities, because they're going to say, you did such a great job. And they're going to want to send over their family and friends and referrals to you too. So a client can't be considered an interruption, because it really, really is the reason why we're here. Then the next thing we're going to talk about is we have to be happy when clients call us. Sometimes we feel frustrated, or we just know that the phone is just ringing, 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 right? And so maybe we get a little bit overwhelmed by the volume of what's happening. And so we need to remember that every time we pick up the phone, we have to make sure that we are in the right mindset to take that call. We can't be getting short with people. We can't keep wishing the phone would stop ringing. If the phone stops ringing, what happens? That means we don't have any clients calling us. And that could be a bad thing in some cases. We really want our clients calling us and asking us the questions because if they're not asking us, they're asking another agent. Remember, we always want to be picking up the phone in the right mindset and really understanding what it is that the client is calling for and being happy to be their hero and give them the ability to get their questions answered. We're also going to talk about how rate is not going to be the boss of us. I want to say it again. Rate is not going to be the boss of you. Firefighters don't let fires get them down. You cannot let rate get you down. This is our opportunity again to shine. This is what we've worked for. This is our insurance Super Bowl. And so we're going to give you some tips and tricks on how to deal with this rate, the difference between reacting and responding to rate. And you can turn these calls around, even when your client is upset. You've done this throughout your insurance career. How many times have you gotten an upset client calling, and by the end of that call, they have a smile on their face? You've done your job as an insurance person. You've helped them understand. You've educated them. You've given them the tools that they need. We don't always have the answer that the insured had in their mind that they wanted when they called. But when you explain something to them and you educate them in a way where now at least they understand and they have a plan, they are ready to move forward with you. Guess what? How many times have you gotten thank you notes or gifts or just had that moment where the client thanked you so deeply from their heart because you really helped them through that process? And remember what that feels like. That is every call of each client's day. It is their most important call of the day, and it's our responsibility to show up during that call. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about it's really important that we remember how you make people feel. And they really want to know that they're cared for, that we're prepared, that we understand, and that we're their hero, and that we give them what they need when they've asked for it. So if I make a commitment to a client, this is how I'm going to be depositing those deposits in my customer piggy bank so that I have those stored for later. And it's about building that trust, building that relationship. So when I'm guiding the client later during this process, they trust and they understand, and they're going to call me because they know and trust and like me. All of these tools that we have working with our client, we also want to remember that we're building and working on relationships with our carriers. We have to remember that our carriers are having challenges too, that they are recording record losses, they are short staffed, there are reinsurance issues. So there's a lot of turnover happening on that side as well. A lot of times, carriers that maybe we've had a really long-term relationship for, there's some turnover happening there. Maybe some of our relationships aren't necessarily as strong as they used to be. Technology has changed a lot of the dynamic between insurance agencies and underwriting. And so there may be more delays, and we want to make sure that we're working really well with our carriers, that we're taking that time to pick up the phone, to talk to them, to send them submissions on things that they can actually quote and write. They're not going to want to see submissions flying across their desk in the hundreds that they don't have a real opportunity on. So just like sometimes we may get frustrated because we know that a client is in the best market and we know that that's where it should stay, but then we still send submissions out to carriers that they really don't have an opportunity on. What are we doing to them? We're creating that backlog. And so we want to be good partners with our carriers, and we need to be proactively building those relationships. We need to be advocating for our right clients and we need to be saying thank you. We need to be giving them great feedback. If there's something not working, we need to make sure that we get management's help, right? So there's a lot of ways that we can work with our carriers and we need to be mindful in doing that. Don't just jump to frustration. So we gain a lot of strength and confidence by just having these conversations and by going through all of these day to day things. And the more we have, the more conversations. It's just like those muscles in the gym. We're going to build that confidence and it's going to build and it's going to grow. And we're going to be able to more easily have those conversations. It may be difficult at first, but we're going to give you a bunch of tools that you can focus on, that you can implement immediately so that you can practice having those conversations, building those relationships, and really being a confident hard market hero. We look forward to seeing you in the next course.